Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new NVIDIA daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA stock. Let's go over what the hell's happening with the stock, what I expect moving forward as per usual, and all of that good stuff. So as per usual, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button as it does help a lot. This is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. And of course, my membership section on YouTube is live. That link is down below in the description of the video. It is a YouTube membership. For $2.99 a month, you get access to all my intraday thoughts, posts, updates essentially on Tesla stock and just the broader market sometimes as well, every single day. Or for $4.99, you get all of that, all those updates, plus NVIDIA daily updates as well, if you're interested. So definitely check it out. Love to have you there. But jumping into it, NVIDIA closing the day, unfortunately, down another 1.66%, closing at 106.21. And down a little bit more post-market, with the market definitely a little bit in the red today, but NVIDIA with another underperformance, unfortunately. And like I said many times, pretty much even post-earnings drop, things were not looking too great. And we've dropped substantially since then, right? Roughly, almost 12% roughly, we'll say, since that earnings drop. Oh, not since the earnings drop, since post-earnings drop even, right? We had the earnings drop, then we had some consolidation, and then we went down even further. Why is this, right? So where do I see, like, what is NVIDIA finally bottoming out, or can it finally go back up, or is there more pain ahead, right? I'll give you what I personally think. I could be wrong, of course, as usual, but I'll give you my personal thoughts. So NVIDIA, right? Let's just make this very clear. On the daily chart, the trend is still down, right? The trend is still down. It is a falling knife. It is what it is, right? Why? Well, we're below the 21 EMA. That's number one. NVIDIA, again, I said this before and I'll say it again, NVIDIA does respect the 21 EMA. Some stocks respect it more than others. NVIDIA, from what I've seen, seems to respect it pretty damn well. And you can see what happens every time we break below it, we trend downwards, we break above it, we trend upwards, break down below it, we trend downwards. And so far, we've obviously been trending downwards. So that's number one. You definitely want to watch out for that. 50-day moving average, rejected us as well. We're getting somewhat close, I will say, to the 200-day moving average. It's sitting at pretty much $90 per share. I don't know if we'll get there personally, because if we do, that would be kind of bearish, because that probably means we broke below this green trend line, which I would not want to see as an NVIDIA bull potentially, right? But 200-day moving average is around $90 per share, close to $90. So we'll see if we ever touch it. Market bias, or below the market bias, right? We're below the 23-day moving average. So there's a lot of things that are, just the trend is not very bullish for NVIDIA at all. It's obviously bearish, right? It is what it is, at least for the short to medium term. But the question, of course, is, well, where is the bottom? Or, maybe do we go back up? So this is how I look at it. So we broke below this demand area. I talked about this 110 to 108 level many times, even back when we were all the way up here, right? And I wanted to hold. I did want it to hold, but unfortunately, we gapped down on a potential investigation by the DOJ on NVIDIA. Yesterday, it happened post-market. It gapped down below it. And unfortunately, it came back up to these levels today to retest it, as you can see. And it unfortunately did get rejected, right? And it did close back down below those levels, which isn't good. That's not what I want to see, right? That shows that this area has officially turned back into a resistance. Not ideal, right? So, another reason why this level is important and why I brought up this 108 to 110 is because you can see back here in early August, right? We pretty much broke down below it, kind of like what we did right now, except what we did is we came back into this level 108, 110. We constantly got rejected. We constantly pretty much turned this area into resistance or supply. Supply. And we just kept getting smacked back down until finally, eventually, after several tries, we did break back above it. But the point is the fact that, when we did break down below, we had issues getting back above. And it took a lot of attempts to get back above. And it actually made us go even lower first before we went back above it. So just keep that in mind. And we're kind of doing the same thing right now. We broke down below it and now we came back into it and clearly turning it into a resistance zone. And that's just not, and it's just resisting us. It's just not letting us go back above. So in my opinion, at the very least, NVIDIA would need to fully recapture this 108 to 110 region. It needs to recapture it. It needs to turn it back into a support. And then from there, I think NVIDIA can make its way back up to about 118 to 120. That'll be the next level I'll be looking for to turn this area potentially back into a resistance as well, to retest this breakdown as well. And that would be also a retest of the 21 EMA, which is pretty much in that general region as well as of right now. So that's kind of the main thing I'm looking at if NVIDIA can do that above 108 to 110. Unfortunately, if it cannot, which so far it's showing it maybe cannot, I do expect more pain, right? It is what it is. As long as we're below this level, 108 to 110, unfortunately, I expect more pain, right? The MACD is still bearish, right? RSI is still pretty much not looking too great. Stochastic on the daily is entering oversold territory, so that is potentially a good sign for bulls that, maybe the pain, maybe there's not too much more pain left, right? But, it's still pointing straight down and it's showing no signs of curling, let alone, crossing back to being bullish. So The trend is still down, lower lows on the BX trender. So in other words, again, because we're still below this 108 to 110 level, I personally expect us to come back down to about $100 per share. Like I really do. That's just my current expectation. If we do, I will go long. That is my target for NVIDIA. That is where I personally will most likely start entering positions, long positions. As of right now, I'm pretty much on the sidelines. I took a very small L that I did close out on this morning's pump, right? I had some cash secured puts. I did close them out for, again, literally like 0.1% of my account's loss, maybe less, honestly. But nonetheless, I took that L because, you know, I had a feeling it wouldn't get back above this level, and it didn't, right? So again, below this level, 108 to 110, I expect us to come back down to about 100. I expect some pretty strong support there as of right now. I expect the support also because it is the green trend line that has, every single time we've come down to it, proven a powerful support and proven a pretty powerful bounce from there as well. So I'll be very excited. I'm not going to lie, closer to $100 per share. I'm getting interested. I'm getting very interested, and we're not too far from it. And that's where I'd want to see NVIDIA start to, start to find some support. And I'd want to see the stochastic start to finally begin to curl. And I think it's getting pretty close. It's not there just yet. And there might be one more push to the downside. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, if we start recapturing 108 to 110, great. NVIDIA can actually potentially start moving back up to 118 to 120. That's a possibility as well. So just look out for those levels. Below those levels, 100, above 118 to 120, and it's really just that simple. Let the price dictate it for you. Let the price action just decide where it wants to go. No reason to guess. No reason to think you're smarter than the market. The price action will always tell you. In my opinion, if you want to be extra safe, not financial advice, just thinking out loud. Waiting for daily closures of daily candles is a pretty good way to play it, just to see, because there's a lot of trickery essentially happening throughout the day, right? Throughout the trading day itself, right? A lot of trickery, especially when we have any data coming out. Like this morning, there's a lot of trickery. For instance, if you go at 15-minute chart, right? A lot of trickery, right? Massive push up. I'm sure a lot of people bought in thinking like, oh my goodness, it's pushing back up. Great. I don't want to miss this. It's going to 118 next. I don't want to miss this. And then it got rejected pretty much right where it needed to break. You can see right here, right? This area of 15-minute chart. If I bring out the crayon here, right? You can see this area, we had some support. And what do? We came right back up to that area and we turned it back into a resistance. So support here, resistance here. Pretty simple stuff, right? You want to see things get back above these levels. Like ideally, NVIDIA, if it kept pushing up on the 15-minute chart, what you would want to see is you'd want to see it go off something like this and then come back down, turn this back to support, and then continue up. Unfortunately, we couldn't have enough buying pressure. The bulls couldn't really do that, and we got rejected, came back up, and went down even lower. So again, closing below it, not ideal to me personally, especially with the market looking pretty weak in my opinion. I talked about it in my Tesla video, but I'll briefly mention it here. The market's not looking too great as well, which I can't imagine will help NVIDIA. NVIDIA could be part of the reason why it's looking so weak, at least as of right now. MACD bearish on SPY and QQQ, right? Crossover on the bearish side, stochastic bearish, right? RSI's below the median average, right? The BX trenders, they're both making lower lows here. So the market is not looking too hot, right? It's below the 21 EMA as well. SPY just came up to retest this area, broke down below yesterday, came back up as a resistance, clearly rejection below 21 EMA. So I'm not gonna lie, the market isn't looking too hot for me, which I can't imagine will be a good thing for NVIDIA, because NVIDIA actually does tend to follow the market as opposed to something like Tesla, which, like I said in my Tesla video, actually doesn't look that bad here. And Tesla likes to kind of just do its own thing regardless of the market. So yeah, I don't know. I can't say I'm bullish on NVIDIA here. I'll be completely honest with you. Not yet, at least. I'd want to see NVIDIA closer to 100. There, I'll start being bullish. There, I can be like, okay, now we're talking. Now it's getting interesting to me. Obviously, the risk reward there, in my opinion, will be great. Obviously, there's still a risk that it just blasts right down below this green trend line and pretty much about $100 to $97 per share. Always a risk, but the risk versus reward ratio there, in my opinion, is great. And that's what I'll be looking for personally. And that's what I'll be doing. And again, if it just rallies from here, great. No FOMO allowed. It is what it is. Maybe I'll enter on the break of 110. I don't know. I'll see how it plays out. But that's my current projection, and that's currently what I am expecting and seeing on NVIDIA. And yeah, so all that being said and done, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.